Hey guys, welcome into Goddess Ramblings, Getting Scrappy with Life. This is where we talk about real healing, real life, starting over, boundaries, spirituality, and becoming who you really are. If you're in the messy middle of this life right now, you're in the right place, and we're going to talk about it. So let's talk. Today I want to talk about something that comes up quite often with my Reiki clients and my psychic mediumship clients. It's about the when you're looking for signs and knowing that the intuitive signs or nudges are all around you. Our spirit team does not talk to us in full sentences. They don't fully tell us exactly what's going on and when. We kind of have to decipher through a lot of the messages that come through. A lot of clients of mine feel like they are disconnected from their spiritual team, like they don't feel the signs or they don't hear the signs properly. All right. Things are very subtle, very, very subtle. So right now I'm in kind of, the summertime of business when school is just getting, starting to slow down and parents are becoming busier with the summer projects and stuff like that, which is totally, it's a belief that I have to work through, right? And it's not true. It's just that that's what I've believed because things are a little slow right now, in the local in-person business, right? So last night before I went to bed, I asked for, the sign. What am I missing? What is the next best step for me? And so today when I woke up, it was funny because I was scrolling on TikTok. I made a couple of posts, and just creating content. And this is how the signs showed up for me. And a lot of the signs that I have are done through music, or they're very subtle. They're done through people, things that I mention, then all of a sudden people are telling me about it. Or like yesterday, I had a conversation and I had mentioned a girl's name and that girl later on texted me. And so we got talking. Well, then a little bit later yesterday, I had noticed this girl had drove in a vehicle and I parked next to her. I'm like, oh my God, that looks like so-and-so. And within 45 minutes, the girl that I thought it was actually messaged me. So it's subtle little things like that. But this is a big one that I want to tell you guys about, okay? So, like I said, I was asking for, a little bit of guidance about my business and, what my next best steps are and, how I can help impact more and more people in the world. And so as I was scrolling through TikTok this morning, all of a sudden I was brought back home and like that whole heartwarming feeling, right? Because I heard a similar voice that I heard when I was growing up. And it was something that brought me comfort on nights when I felt lonely, where I didn't feel like I had anybody that understood my journey. Or, I didn't have very many friends that I could go out with and hang around with, never dated a lot. So all of a sudden, Casey Kasem's voice came on, and it was the coolest thing ever because, Casey Kasem, when I was growing up, around 89, 1990, up until probably like 1993, maybe, he really played a pivotal role in helping me to stay grounded and stay in to who I am, to not be somebody else that I'm not. And, bringing comfort, having that voice every Saturday, just, it was really cool. I got to call into the radio station and talk to him, and he played my songs a couple of times, all that fangirl stuff, right? But what was really cool about it was when this came on, his voice came on, and all of a sudden, like I said, my heart just activated, and it was like, oh, this is home. This is what home feels like right now, right? And the first thing that came up, and I've been guided to go live and to, be more out speaking to people and all of those things. And I've really dug my feet down into the ground and not fully done it. Even though I'm being guided to do that, there's some kind of resistance there of being seen. And, that fear. I did the Fear is a Liar podcast, and, it comes out. Everybody has it. It's just, it's lying though. But anyways, so Goddess Ramblings, gotcha. So what Casey Kasem was talking about was, he said that Guns N' Roses came out with their Appetite for Destruction cassette tape. Okay, cassette tape. And it did not do good at all. Like, they did not even think that Guns N' Roses was going to be a thing because nobody loved them off of the cassette tape, right? And they never got a lot of airplay time. Okay. But their live shows, the energy that they brought to their live shows, and the word of mouth of people that experienced the energy of the live shows and who they were and what they were trying to bring to people's lives from the Appetite for Destruction cassette actually sold the record, and it went to the top 10. And when this cassette, Appetite for Destruction, went to top 10, then the radios could not refuse to play them because everybody loved them and everybody wanted to be there. And I hope that connected. It says I'm reconnecting. Sorry about that. But what I was saying was that the radio stations, they could no longer, refuse to play the Appetite for Destruction because they said that they were unpopular, because now with the energy and all of the forward movement, it sold their record, and they went to top 10 right away. Okay. Not right away, but when people started feeling the energy and understanding the music and the vibe that they're bringing, of that kind of rebel bad boy type. So that was one of the messages. Then he went on, or the video went on, to talk about how Casey Kasem's voice was heard for 40 years on the radio every Saturday. He launched into 7 stations, grew from 900 to 20 million listeners every weekend. Didn't chase trends, didn't try to be cool, just showed up. Showed up every week. Like, how cool is that? And then it went on to talk about where you heard him. Like, if you can remember back right now, and I know that if you grew up in this time when Casey Kasem was on the radio, I know that you can hear his voice in your head right now. It's like you are on a timeline jump, and it's going back and it's feeding that inner child inside of you. Not many people understand what that is, but it's an inner part of you. And what you enjoyed about that. And I bet you anybody that as you're kind of listening to that voice inside of your head, you're remembering exactly where you were. You heard him in the car. You heard him when you were going to sleep at night. You heard him when you were cleaning your room, when you were sitting by the pool, laying outside with the sun in your hair and the coconut oil on, the big old banana boat oil, getting suntans. You heard him when, you were doing walks outside or mowing the yard, raking, taking yourself back to those moments that you felt at home inside of the whole energy of what Casey brought for us. Okay. So that is another part of it, and these are all just little signs and nudges that intuitively a lot of people just, I don't know if they just don't hear it or see it, but this is how spirit talks to you. Okay. So then they went in to talk about, how he signed off, how he came onto the radio. You knew what he was going to say before he even said it. And like I said, you can already hear his voice inside of your head. Those are some of the nudges that I received this morning. And it just brings you back to know that universe has got us, I don't know what you call your higher power, but God, universe, creator, whatever your higher power is, they've got us, and if we just listen and just slow down and take it all in, that is where we are guided. That is where we start feeling the things inside of our bodies, and we know what's right and what's right for us. Ask for a message today, ask to see, a cardinal, or ask to see a blue butterfly or something, they're always talking to you. If you need an answer about something, just sit back and just relax and breathe in and just say, God, universe, creator, like I said, whoever you believe in, show me a sign of yada, yada, an eagle flying over you if you're going the right direction. Mine is a hawk most of the time. Show me a sign of the hawk if I am doing exactly what I'm supposed to be doing. And when you see that sign, just smile and say, thank you. Thank you, because you are being provided for by the universe. And that is how intuitive signs and nudges move. And they move through people. They move through, like I said, they move through radio. They move through people. They move through TV. They move through nature. That's why I decided to do this video outside. If you're on podcasts, you're not going to be able to see it, but I'm sitting outside in the sun because this is my favoriteest place to be, is in the sun, listening to the birds, the breeze, all the things that are around us daily. And that's my happy place. It doesn't matter where, just as long as it's sun and I'm outside. I like it on the beach though. I can't lie there. I do love it on the beach, but just being outside in nature and listening to everything that's going on around me, those are amazing things to ground down into and to better yourself into grounding throughout the day and allowing yourself to feel and see the intuitive nudges and knowing that you're guided by spirit. So that is our talk for today. Let me know if, how this lands with you. Are you open to listening to the intuitive nudges that are around you, and do you act on them? A lot of people blow it off as, it's their imagination. A lot of times it's not your imagination. You are actually being guided. So let me know how you feel about that, and let me know what kind of signs you're getting lately. And I can't wait to hear from you. So until next time, big hugs and love, and you're doing great. Love you.